This next one from Modernity News. That's Paul Joseph Watson's outlet over there. All right, headline. Trump on course to shatter deportation record, according to the report. Fox News reports that the Trump administration is on course to shatter the record for deportations in 1 year, with over 2 million illegals sent packing since his second term in office began. The segment notes that the numbers include an estimated 1.6 million self-deportations and more than 400,000 forced deportations. The DHS has said it expects to deport nearly 600,000 illegal aliens by the end of President Donald Trump's first year since returning into office. The number will likely be higher, much higher than this, however, with figures released this week showing that 515,000 have already gone, with more than 2 months left of 2025. The numbers show an exponential increase of 100,000 just since late last month. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia? Is that misspelled? I swear her name's Tricia McLaughlin, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. Good. Yeah, that... Modernity. You guys misspelled Trish McLaughlin's name. Fix that. Anyways, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin also told reporters that an additional 485,000 illegals have also have been arrested, presumably awaiting deportation. So that's an estimated cool million just right there, in addition to the estimate of 1.6 million who have self-deported, reportedly. McLaughlin said that this is just the beginning, and that Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, quote, have jump-started an agency that was vilified and barred from doing its job in the last 4 years, end quote. She went on, quote, illegal aliens are hearing our message to leave now or face the consequence. Migrants are now even turning back before they reach our borders, end quote, said McLaughlin. That's the idea, right? You put out your foreign policy, you advertise it to the world, and suddenly they don't believe it's such a good idea to come here. It's almost like when you don't tell the world, hey, come on in, it'll be fun and free, and we'll give you free stuff, that people just don't show up at the doorstep all the time looking for handouts. It's weird. But let's go on. She further highlighted an almost 100% drop in migration through Panama's Darien Gap, a primary migration route to the U.S. Quote, in the face of a historic number of injunctions from activist judges, ICE, CBP, and the U.S. Coast Guard have made historic progress to carry out President Trump's promise of arresting and deporting illegal aliens who have invaded our country, end quote, McLaughlin asserted. There is still some way to go, however, given that under the treasonous Biden regime, more than 10 million illegals, conservatively, I've heard estimates all the way up to 40, 50 million illegals just under the Biden administration were allowed to walk on across the border. Of course, that's including not physically walking across the border too, right? You know, you flew in or you came across in a car or something else, right? Pretty crazy if 10 million alone literally walked across the border, though. That would be an interesting statistic. All right. Well, so we got another win, obviously, for the Trump administration. That's pretty solid numbers considering what we were seeing prior to this. Chat says 500,000 gone, only 29.5 mil to go. Yeah. Yes. You know, obviously at those numbers, we're still not going to make anywhere close to what we need to accomplish in the next 3.5 years, 3 years at this point. And, you know, by some estimates, by what, halfway through next year, because that's when midterms kind of shut down big political moves. I don't know. But if anything, the massive funding boost and hiring boost that ICE got, they should be able to pretty rapidly ramp up their numbers, I would think. I wonder what that kind of exponential growth is going to look like. I wonder what the ICE numbers were before hiring. Let's see, Grok. No, not Grok. Google. We'll stick with the old school search engines. Let's see. Immigrations, customs enforcement, employee numbers. 2024, 2025. Okay, all right, cool. So 8,700, and I think, didn't they hire something like 67,000? What's the last number I saw? So just off that loose estimate there, that's a, pretty significant increase in the workforce. Of course, that's going to take, we've discussed this before, of course, it's going to take a considerable amount of time to get all that new force trained up on proper policies, procedures, and everything else, get them ready to go out in the field and all that. We're talking about months down the road. So, we could be looking at, beginning to, between January and springtime, of those numbers really kicking up as the, new field agents start filtering out into their assigned duties, as it were. But ICE removals are reportedly on track to exceed any year in U.S. history, with over 600,000 deportations projected just in the first year. The media calls it mass deportation, but I think we kind of rather refer to it as just normal law enforcement. We're just enforcing the existing laws on the books, right? Trump's doing what every other president promised to do but never dared. Obama got close. Apparently, they called him the deporter-in-chief, right? Chad says 5 million in. We should start seeing it in housing and used car markets. Ooh, that could be fun and exciting.